What's happening? Gen X Games here. So in this episode, we're kind of going to revisit some things. So my wife checked out my videos and she said she was kind of confused about the parts where I went into inventory, made things happen, switched it up, made some other things happen, whatever and whatnot. So today I'm going to go into depth on how to do the things that I did, because I remember having a difficult time with that in the beginning myself. So think of the previous video as like a general summary. Also, we're going to revisit and clarify some of the admin settings and quickly talk about the map, since I haven't even mentioned that shit at all. I know this kind of a video can be a bit dry, but if you're just starting out or never played this kind of game before, this video might actually be important to you. Also, the settings are general across gaming platforms, but I'm doing this on an Xbox and I'm in a single player mode, and I just want to make that clear up front. But everything is basically the same, it's just how you do the shit is different, if you know what I mean. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. But first, before I do that, just in case this takes a while, I'm going to jump back into my spot. So let's go into the settings. So again, you got to press the option key or whatever that is. Go here, get to this screen right here, jump into the settings, and just real quick, I just wanted to show you what I actually did. Again, what I did is I hit general, clicked A to get in there. I made myself an admin. It says right there, make me admin. The button is highlighted. It says admin rights granted. So if you log out, when you quit the game, shut your Xbox off and all that kind of stuff, it will stop you. It'll go back to the default setting of you not being an admin. So when you restart the game, you're gonna have to come back in here and redo, at least make yourself the admin again. That's pretty much all you have to do, because everything else should remain the same. When you go down here, you see this button that I'm highlighting, enable sandstorm. If you're new and you don't want to have this sandstorm come every once in a while, then this is the button that you hit. If you're really just trying to get used to the gameplay and all that kind of stuff, then go ahead and uncheck this and disable the sandstorm. Me personally, I just leave it on because it only happens in the desert, and once you really get out of this desert, you really don't need to worry about it, especially once you get a mask. I can't remember what mask, when you get the sandstorm mask or anything like that. It might be level 20, it might not be, but you know, I just leave this on because it's not that big of a deal to me once I get my shelters built. I'm not going off and, you know, trying to do any missions or find any new places unless I don't have this sandstorm mask. But, you know, everything that we have set up the way it is, you don't really have to go that far. So that's that. Let's see, let's go into the day and night cycle. Okay, I pretty much had it right the first time. So if I want to reduce, come on, let's press, gotta remember to press A, you don't just click over. So anyways, I reduced the daytime, the day cycle speed. I reduced the daytime speed, and I'm going to increase this actually even further to about 5. And then I left everything else normal. I guess these two settings down here, the catch-up time and the use catch-up time, is for server stuff online. Going into survival, I went off on a tangent because I got excited about this, because the main thing that I do here is the drop equipment on death. I check that shit immediately. But this right here is the stamina one, and that's the first thing I like to reduce too, because once your stamina goes out when you're fighting somebody or when you're running, you can't do nothing. You can't attack, you could only just move back. You know, so I reduce this because I like to enjoy the game and actually like fight. Let's see, everything else I left the same, and I definitely unchecked this drop equipment on death. Sometimes if you're in the middle or a difficult situation and you're in the middle of a bunch of enemies and stuff like that, imagine trying to go back to that same spot to get your stuff that you dropped in the middle of a bunch of enemies. Nah, not me. Let's see, combat. I usually leave the combat just as it is. There's no reason to check this unless you're like that into it. Again, on harvesting, you can increase the amount that you want to get when you swing the axe. When you start out, your axe, if you're mining rocks, it usually starts around 6 or 7. Obviously, we got a 3 at 3, so now it's like 1920. You know, and When you boost up your level, it might be 23, 25. I don't know yet. I haven't done it. I haven't really paid attention to it. All I know is that when you upgrade your weapons, your harvesting multiplier goes up as well. So, and then the resource multiplier, boost that all the way up to 10. If you don't, because if you don't do, like, if you don't boost it up at all, you'll have to go far to go get all your resources that you need, because sometimes they're not there for days, or I mean, I would say a day, but it takes a long time. So while you could be harvesting or building or whatever, you're waiting for your resources to respawn, and it takes forever. So I just boost it up so I don't have to worry about it. I could get what I want to get and start playing the game again. All right, the crafting time, I just checked because I had to finish getting the door on the back door, and I was hoping these settings were the ones I wanted to have, and they were. So when I crafted the door, instantly, I know this thrall crafting multiplier, I haven't really checked that out yet, but supposedly it's supposed to be good. Building, I might actually change this. I'm not sure. There's only really a couple things I would change on this screen, and that would be allow building anywhere, which you'll see. I'll probably even show you there's areas that you just can't build at. Why? I'm not sure. Maybe you're too close to the city or something, and they just say, don't, or whatever. But you check this box and it'll allow you to build wherever you want to. The one I am gonna mess with though is this. This is stability loss multiplier. So I'm gonna reduce this all the way down to 0. When you saw me building my building, you could tell that it went from green to yellow to red, and that just means when it hits red, it's less stable. You might be able to attach something to it, but you won't be able to put anything above that. So if you're doing a 2-story building, for example, and you have some things, but yet some of those pieces when you put on the roof might have been red, you won't be able to put something on the second floor on top of that red area. For example, if you wanted to put like a smelting structure on your floor on the second floor, if that tile that you put up was red, you won't be able to place it there. So you're basically losing space because it's not stable, right? Because if you put it down there, it'll just fall through. So you have to go down to the bottom stairs and place a pillar so it is stable, so you're able to put that smelter up on the second floor. So I'm just going to reduce that so I could have long open areas in my building if I wanted to, because this became an issue to me. So that's what I'm doing here. All right, the purge. I'm going to enable the purge. Now I looked up this stuff here, and everything is pretty much fine except for this purge level. I'm beginning. I'm going to put mine down. If you're a beginner too, if you're going to have a purge, you would probably want it at either no purge, I guess, that'll make sense to me, but level 1, purge level 0, 1 or 2. The sweet spot from what I hear is 3. I'm gonna go 2 first, just so I can see like about how many thralls I need to handle a purge. But I don't want it to be super easy either, so I'm gonna put it right there. I guess when you hit the level 3, you have name thralls and other bigger creatures coming at you that could do more damage to you and your structures. But until I understand what how the waves come and all this kind of stuff, I'm just going to keep it at 2. The purge duration, I'm going to drop that down to 20. I'm going to drop it down to 20. Prep time 10, 20 minutes. That's cool for me. Everything else, you could hit this button right here where it says allow building. Because sometimes, like, you'll be at your base and then you'll hear a brrr, the purge is coming. Oh shoot, you got 10 minutes to get ready. For example, that you might have a spiky fence or one of those X barricades of wood with spikes on it, and put a bunch of them in a container to hold them in. But I don't know how it works now. But you would go in there and try to get your little spikes fences, put them out front so you could stop them from coming into your building, but you couldn't do that because you couldn't build, right? So now if you hit this allow building button, it'll allow you to keep building. So if you wanted to build some more defenses you could while your purge is going on. But if you leave it unchecked, you can't do nothing. So what you got is what you got. I'm gonna allow building just because. Purge meter trigger value is what I was looking for. I'm still trying to figure out where your points are at, because according to this goes off the amount of, I guess, experience points that you have. So I'm gonna boost this up probably to 100,000, double what it is now, so I have plenty of time to get ready for my first purge. And that's what this is. It's the purge meter trigger value. So it triggers once you hit 100,000 experience points. So I'm basically almost doubling it, and that's fine with me. So it's double the time. Everything else I think has to do with online, and you really don't have to worry about it if you're in single player mode on the console. Let's go to pet and hunger. Animal crafting time, everything is good. That's where you want it. You could put a food container, planter, or whatever you want to call it, in the middle, and I guess this expands the range that food container could feed your thralls. I've never had a problem with this on the default settings, but I'll put it up to 2 because I would like to actually make a bigger base. And then that is it for the admin settings. I hope it's a little bit more clear. What we will check into next is the let's go into the inventory and stuff like that when we get back. All right, so now that we're done with that, let's go ahead and get into the inventory stuff. This is kind of basic stuff, but on the left hand side you got what's actually in your inventory, so what's on you, what you're carrying. In the middle is all your stats and stuff like that. You can see at the bottom there's a purge meter. That's the purge meter that we set to where it takes a little bit longer to reach its limit to where the purge comes. And on the right is the stuff that you could craft without using a crafting hammer. The crafting hammer is what you use to build all the big things. So you can see this is the home page. On the home page, I think you basically have a breakdown of what the tabs at the top are. So the next tab would be, and you hit the next tab by the bumper. So yeah, you have your masonry stuff, and then you have the artisan type stuff that you could do, decorations mainly. The only thing I really do first and foremost is this torchbearer, so I could put some lights on the outside of my building or my shelter or my base. The next one is a survivalist. This is probably where you're going to spend the majority of your time on the next 3 tabs. On the left hand side where it says survivalist, where the water skin is highlighted, what it does is it unlocks the 3 green boxes. All right, so if you were to come over here, let's just say here, it shows you, in order to get this item, it highlights the item you need to have prior to that in orange. If I do this one, it'll have the one that you need prior to that in orange, and the one that it's going to unlock in green. All right, so that's what that means. So we have the survivalist tab. Now we're on to the weapons tab, and this is where all your weapons and shields are. Okay, and these right here, these apprentice weaponsmiths, these are pretty cool because you can attach them to your weapons. I'll show you how to do that later if it's still the same. A lot of things have changed on this game. This is your armor. All right, these are your clothes right here. This is what you're allowed to do. See, right now I could claim this one. I'm going to claim this one, so that way when I go ahead and get these get the Sepa Maru, I can start crafting these armors. So I'm going to claim that, and then let's see, these ones right here, when you see, you can't unlock any of these until you hit 60, level 60. Again, these are armor smith stuff. Armor has one and the weapons have one, so you can attach these to your armor, fix your armor, make it stronger, whatever, whatnot. Now these are the religion stuff. The religion stuff is what it is. I really don't know what to do in religion stuff. I haven't messed with it. I'm gonna try to mess with it at this time. This time around, just like I'm trying to purge, that's going to be real new for me. But I'm going to try to do this. I already have this learned because this is what I picked at the beginning when I created my character. So I'm a Mitra person, whatever that means. And there's these all other ones that you could learn if you go beat the bosses, talk to these people, and learn certain religions. But that's throughout the rest of the gameplay, you get all these other religions. Let's see, what is this? I don't even know what this is. All right, and this right here, I guess, is stuff that, yeah, these are basically the starter ones. Apprentice Mason, Journey Mason, Master Mason. So those are the ones that we actually have passed, knowledge that has been passed down from our ancestors, I guess. All right, so that's that, and then you got a search bar, and you can just come in here. It's kind of difficult to search for everything like this, especially on the Xbox. You don't want to have to bring up the typing menu and shit like that. So that's that. Let's go over here and go into the attributes. You've seen the attributes. I got 3 points. I'm gonna just spend it right now. Excuse me. I got 3 points. I'm gonna spend it right now on the expertise to raise my encumbrance. All right, the next tab is your stats. Basically, this is what you got going on for you. You can see I raised my damage. My total damage is 11. Damage from weapon is 7. It's just a stone club. My total health, all this stuff. You see all this. Temperature resistance, movement abilities, stuff like that, okay? These are your journey things that you've done. You can see this one. We climbed at the very beginning of the video. You drank. He ate, okay, and then these ones you won't know until you actually do them and unlock them. So these ones right here that are already unlocked, I just happen to do, So let's see, the next one, clan, I think that has to do with online stuff. Followers, this is cool because sometimes when you get a thrall and you're in a fight or whatever, and you run away because your health is so low and your thrall's still battling out and all this kind of stuff, but you just need to go back to your base to, make some more bandages or whatever, your thrall won't follow you. Depending on the distance of your base, he might have beat all the thralls, but yet he never returned home. He's just there hanging out. So if you go over here, it'll basically show you the names of the thralls that you have following. If you have 1 or 5, 10, whatever, you'll see them, and then you'll be able to see where they're at on this, and it's a status and level, and it has all that other little stuff. So this is pretty cool. So you could go back and you could probably call them up and say, I forget exactly how it is, but that's what I use this part for, to see where my thrall was at, because they just get lost sometimes. All right, the map. I haven't even touched on the map. I'm surprised I haven't. So if you follow this red square right here, this is where we started out, okay? And we traveled up this little area right here. That's where I got the wood to build my shield. I made it up around this corner, and right here is where we built our first little hut to escape the sandstorm. We came around this bend right there, and then we just swam right across to the Sentinels, okay? From there, we came around here. I showed you this location, and then we just swam across to this little peninsula right here, and then we just stayed in the water, and this is where we're currently at right now. This is the broken bridge, the shattered bridge that we passed through. So the cool thing about this is, whenever you reach an area, it basically pops up on the map, and these are just basic general locations, good landmarks that they'll place on the map for you. Sometimes you go into the cave, like for example, there's a cave right here, they won't really place it on a map. I don't know if this one in particular does not, but sometimes they just won't place it on a map. Like there's a place around here which is you could get a certain weapon or something like that they just don't place on the map. So in that case, what you would do is you would add a new marker, right? Choose whatever you want it to be. For example, I'm gonna have this base right here, right? So my starter base, first base. Then I'm gonna come up here, and I'm gonna build another base right here. If I were to put down a bedroll right here, it would destroy the base that I'm currently at. So what I would do is I would come over here, lay a bedroll symbol down, and then continue to go about my way. So that way I know that I have a base here. If I build another base and place a bedroll, it's going to destroy this bedroll. So then I would go and put a bedroll emblem here. So when I, press the map, I know I have a base over here and I have a small base over here. So if I'm in any trouble, say right here in this area for some reason, I could just go to this base and go and get some shelter. If I'm in any trouble over here, let's say forever, well, for instance, I have a base, I know I have a base right here and I could just run to that one. That's how I would do it. Another great thing that is awesome about this game is when you're an admin, you have this Y admin teleport. So that means because I know where my base is at, say I have a base over here and over here, or even up here in the volcano. Okay, say you roll up here solo, you're looking for star ice or whatever, star stone, I forget what it's called. And then, I need some help because I had some trouble getting through this area because of some enemies. You just teleport to this person, to this base right here, grab you a thrall. You can teleport back to this little mini base, and then when you want to go search another area, at least you have a thrall with you. That's how I do it. There's a map room that you could get for this kind of situation, which will teleport you between obelisk and that stuff. But that takes a while to do. But this is a good option once you get later in the game. You really don't need it too much in the beginning of the game, but later in the game, in the middle of the game, you probably might start wanting to. But a benefit of using that is you can move places between places faster. A disadvantage to that is you lose leveling up your thralls. So that's that. Of course, you can zoom in, zoom out, all the other basic stuff and all that kind of nature. Zoom in, zoom out. All right. Let's go to the next tab. The next tab of challenges. This is new to the game. I don't really know what this does. Like, I'm moving buttons, nothing's moving. It says A, claim reward, so I'm gonna claim it. Okay, that's cool. Again, like nothing's really doing anything. I don't understand because I crafted a tool, so that should be, good too. Maybe it needs to be with an armor is what it looks like in the picture, So I don't know. Defeat scorpions, harvest coal. So these things pop up. I think there's something about the re-roll challenges. You only get it shows you 3 during the life of the game, I'm assuming. So be cautious of that. The battle pass, not even gonna lie, not even familiar with. I don't even know nothing about this. It says buy battle pass. So so that first one is unlocked. I'm gonna just press it just to see what it does. All right, buy the battle pass to start claiming rewards. The premium battle pass unlocks 15 levels immediately. So you need 1,200. What? Okay. All right. It says at the bottom here, it says buy Crom coins. So we're gonna go ahead and hit Y and see what that does. I don't know. Huh. So yeah. So if you want to do this, you have to pay for it out your pocket, like real money. I ain't gonna do that. So I won't be doing any battle pass or so anything like that. Let's see what the bazaar says. I think the bazaar is the same way. So I ain't gonna be doing none of this. If you're not willing to pay and all that kind of stuff, you're probably not gonna do this either. I mean, it looks like it has some cool stuff, but I'm already paying for the Game Pass, and I ain't gonna pay extra money to play, for add-ons and stuff like that. And that's the same thing with these. If you come over here to the knowledge base, and then you go to the armor or any of these weapons, let's just say you go to these weapons, you can't get these. The ones with the green arrow in the corner because it's called downloadable content, and I'm not gonna pay for downloadable content, So that is just that. So that is it. I believe we went through all of the things. Whew. Oh, here's the downloaded content right here. Downloadable content. See, so if you want Conan Exiles of Sipta, you could pay $17 for that, $18 for that. Same thing with all this other stuff. You know, if you wanted to continue on and get a different world view of Conan Exiles, you know, I might do that. I'll probably do that later on if I wanted to, after checking out some other games. But that's something that might be worth it to you. But this other stuff is just packs, you know, dress up stuff, in my opinion. Oh yeah, so before I go, I want to show you how to actually get things and move things around in your inventory and all that kind of stuff. So if I wanted to, I built these boxes here after I got some resources and stuff like that. So if we go into our inventory, you know, like for example, right now I'm a little heavy, right? If you go back to the screen right here, you can see my weight is yellow, you know, and I let's just say I want it to be green. I'm carrying too much weight. So what I would do is I would look at this wooden box, hold X, move the cursor to the stone per se, and hit the right trigger, and it'll go it over there, and it would take it over there. So now the stones are over there, and then you could push down on the right trigger, and it'll sort all of your inventory. All right, I like to do it. You could do it by name. If you see on the left hand side, you could do it by name, and you could do it by the heaviness of it. So you sort it by heaviest first. That's what I like to do. So I'm going to leave it at that. So now I see from heaviest to lightest what's in my inventory and what's weighing me down. All right. So the other thing is if I want to take something, go into the thing that you need to do, hit X in this case, and you can either take it one thing or take everything in the box. For example, if I hit this, move this over there, hit the right trigger to give it to the box. If I wanted to take something from the box, I could either hit the right trigger to take that one thing, or I could hit Y and take everything. So that is that. Say you just have something in your thing that you don't want in your inventories that you don't want, okay? For example, I don't need this tunic, this coarse tunic. So I could either put it in that box, or I could just drop it on the floor. Let's just drop it on the floor because I don't need it. It's gonna waste our time. Spoiled food, putrid meat, I don't need it. Let's drop it. And there will be cases that you do need it, but not now. Let's drop it, right? Do I need bugs? I don't need bugs. So let's drop that too. Do I want these seeds? I really don't need seeds right now. Let's drop it. Okay. I will probably put these into the storage box. I don't know why I keep them. I tend to keep on the papers even in real life. So for now, let's put it in here and just put it in a storage box. Okay. So now, you know what? We don't even need these yellow lotus. I have never used these yellow lotus blossoms in the game, ever. Maybe I'm not doing it right, but we're gonna find out a use for them. So we're gonna put them in the wooden box. All right. And everything else in your inventory is kind of like what I want and need to have. Actually, let me just do this. I'll put this in the box because we don't need hide in there right now, right? So now we're good to go. Everything we have on us is basically stuff that we need to survive or make. If we need to create another axe, for example, we got the resources to do it. If we want to create a healing aloe, which you could do over here, because I think it's in our stuff. There it is. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and craft one. Let's craft 10. And since my crafting speed is so fast, they're just coming. They're just coming. And sometimes when you do this, they either go into your inventory box over here, or they go into your quick box. And we can't do nothing right now, so let's back out of this. Or they go into your quick inventory, or your quick menu. So let's go ahead and get out of this and go in the quick menu. You get in the quick menu by hitting LB, your left bumper, and then you could use your right trigger to go ahead and choose what you want. Upper right, my club, skinny knife, bottom left, this over here. So quick, easy access. Go ahead and hit X. No, you hit A. If you hit A, you'll use it. All right. Health already full, so I can't use it. And that's how you do that. Now, you can also return these back to your inventory. If you see on the bottom left, it says hit X to return, so we'll hit X to return, and there you go. And that's how you get things back into your inventory if you don't want a lot of things here in the circle. For example, if you don't need your this, oh, okay, let's explain this since this popped up. In order to not use this, you just hit back and it gets it out of there, right? So to get your construction hammer, obviously you hit your left bumper, go to where your construction hammer is, select that by hitting A, and now you have it. Once you have it in your hand, then you can go ahead and hit the left bumper again, and you'll go into the crafting menu, the building menu, I would like to say, because the crafting is all what you could do without the crafting hammer. This is more of the building stations. Even though it says crafting stations, this is building stuff. All right, you have 3 tabs here: building places, crafting stations, decorations. All right, so what's in these things or what you can build. For example, you can see I have green. Those are things I have the resources to build. I don't have resources to build 10 square foundations, 10 triangle foundations. I have the resources to build either 10 foundations or 10 triangle wedge foundations. Okay, so just understand that. The red ones is what I don't have enough stuff to do. So obviously on this one you can see I need 8 fiber, whatever's in the red, 8 fiber. So there's that. Sorry. And then the next piece is you go to the next one you want to go to is the crafting station. Okay, this is what I could build in this section of the building area. I could do smithing. So right now I am able to build an armor bench, and if you look to the right, you can see what I need. Right now I have 58 wood. I need 100 wood. I have 11 twine. I need 25 twine. I have plenty of stone. If you hit the RB and LB, you go up or down, right? Down, right, up, right bumper, left bumper. All right, so I could build my religion temple, my temple. I could build for companions. So this is what you have. You have stuff you could build for religion. You have stuff to build for smithing. And then you have stuff to build for your thralls. That's what the companions are. Right now I have a lesser will of pain to tame my thralls, and a food, what is that called? A thrall pot. So this is what I need to build to feed my thralls, because they're going to need to eat. Not the ones that are on the crafting stations, but the ones that are guarding your place. All right, and this one particular one is just for the human thralls. There's a feed box to feed the animal thralls, and that'll pop up. It should pop up in here once we unlock that. And then the next one is you have decorations. This is considered a decoration, but is kind of a necessary thing to have. Here's a wooden box I just built too, so I need all the resources to the right. As you can see, if I hit the right bumper to go down, I have lights and torches, certain types of torches I could build as well. This one goes on the wall. This one goes in the ground. This is just more hardened, I guess, and this is just your This is just your simple standing torch. This is a protected torch. All right. That's what that is. So, and that's that. So, let's see what's next over here. Just one more thing, and then I promise I'll leave you guys alone. All right, so you could think of this campfire as maybe a furnace. Okay, let's pretend you have furnaces and stuff like that. So you can see right here. Let's see if I could even move this around. Yes. Okay. So you know how to put wood in here. So what you do is you put the wood over here by hitting the right trigger. Once the wood is over here, then you select this one by clicking A, right? You see there's a little flag on the corner, and then you move it up by hitting the left joystick and then pressing A to make that your fuel. And then you move your left joystick to the right, and then you press play and it'll burn. All right. Now, in order to do that again, you gotta do it again in order to shut it off and stop it. Okay. So what you do here is, if you had a thrall, you would do the exact same thing. You would take this, go in your inventory, get your thrall, hit the right trigger, put it over here in this spot, select this thrall, right? And you would put it right here in the slot, in the thrall slot, the thrall location. And then your thrall would be working your station. So if I did that, for example, in this case, when I move back here, there would be like a little dude bent over right here, watching over the campfire, cooking for me, right? I mean, he wouldn't be cooking for me. It's just, he makes it faster. I don't know what he does. Some thralls, if they're a cook, you can put them here and they'll give you additional recipes, for example. So that's the benefit of having a thrall cook for you, blacksmith for you, all this other kind of stuff, right? So another thing that you kind of saw what happened is say I wanted to move this wood to this square right here. Well, I can't do it right here. So let's just say I go into this box and I want to move only some sticks over to my inventory so I could craft something. So I would select this box, move it over here, and then press A, right? And then it will ask me, how much do I want? Well, let's just say I can move by increments of 10, I can move to 100, but so let's just say I want 20. So let's go use the right bumper to get down to 20. Oh, it's 21. Then I could just move the left joystick down to 1 and then hit OK. And now I have 12 sticks. But let's just say for some reason I want to give my thrall 10 sticks now, right? Maybe they'll never use sticks, but I'm just saying, you know. Or you have multiple furnaces, and let's say you have 400 things of wood, and you want to split up the 400 pieces of wood into each furnace. So each one needs 100 apiece. So what you would do, if this was 400 wood, you would come over here, hit the right bumper, and go to split, right? And then, oh, I need 2 more. Then I would go select this one, not select it, but just highlight it, hit the right bumper, and split it again. If I need to split again, then I would go over there, highlight it, hit the right bumper, and split it. And that's how you do that. And let's see, I think that's about it as far as everything is concerned. If I missed anything, you know, I'm sure you guys could figure it out on your own. You guys are very smart people. And yeah, so we're at that point right now. A day has gone by, and I spent a whole day teaching my peoples how to survive out here in the Exiles. Thanks for hanging out with me on that one. I know this is dry. I know it could be long-winded and all that kind of stuff. So now I get the great, you know, duty of going ahead and editing that video to make it even smoother for you guys. So until next time, definitely we're gonna go looking for the armor, looking for a thrall, building a lesser will of pain. I promise you, this next one.